Hey, are you struggling with productivity and getting things done on time? Well, in this lesson, we're learning all about time boxing for your calendar. We're going to learn what is it, how to use it, how to schedule things, what happens when things of other priorities come in and try to hijack your calendar, what should you do every time, how to manage your energy, and a lot more. Hi, I'm Angel from RTCourseExperts.com, and we help creative teachers with tech for their online courses, their membership communities, and coaching websites. In this lesson, we're learning all about time boxing so that you can manage and improve your productivity. We're going to learn what is it, why should you use it? We're going to talk about how to use it, how to set it up, some technical details, some real expert tips. Then we're going to go over an example that's just for creative teachers. And finally, we'll wrap up and summarize our top tips. Let's start off with what is it? So time boxing is a time management process where you reserve time slots for planned or scheduled tasks. So for example, you know that every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m., you do a certain thing and it's on your calendar. That's when you work. So you have a to-do list, but the time boxing and the calendar really drives what you focus on and what you get done every week. Why use time boxing? Well, it helps you be more productive by using the calendar to tell you what to work on and what to not work on, right? So you're probably going to have a to-do list. So you got, either your to-do list or your team's to-do list. You're using Asana, Monday, ClickUp, whatever. And so you have this backlog of things. So when you get up, you're not going to just look at email and social media and then that inspires you to do certain things. No, you already know the night before what you're going to do. And the afternoon, before you even start the afternoon, you know what you're going to tackle. It's on your calendar. So basically, you're going to take your tasks that are most important to you and you're going to block them out. You're going to time box them on your calendar. You're going to put them ahead of time. They're going to be ready. And then you have, little gaps and whatnot. But once you have all these things on your calendar, you're going to run like a machine. You're going to do the highest priority stuff. You're going to guard your time so that it's your priorities, it's your focus, and not just sort of get through the day with kind of a wishful plan. So let's get into a how-to guide. First, we want to talk about some of the essentials for time boxing, like, how to structure everything. Then we're going to geek out and talk a little bit more about the real details of actually filling in your calendar. So first of all, you need to review your priorities periodically. So whether it's every week or every month, but you need to review your priorities, and based on your priorities, you need to identify when that work will get done. Okay? And if you're not doing the work, when will you kick off that work to your team or contractors, and when will you review it? I like the 10-80-10, where you spend 10% writing requirements or giving a vision or describing a task. Then the other side goes and does the work, and then you come back in at the end for an audit or a review. But basically, you need to review your priorities, and based on that, you could set up all your time boxes. Next, you need to use one main calendar. So a lot of people have different calendars, the calendar in the wall, the Google one, the personal one. I like to just connect them and stack them so that there's one view that has the main calendar that you're going to. And it's like, we're just talking about work here, but I like to overlay my personal calendar on top of my work so I know when I have to pick up my kids from school or have date night or whatever. So you're going to have one main calendar that you're continuously looking at. It's the same one that's on your mobile phone, it's on your desktop, it's different places, and it's this one calendar that's in sync. So you're not looking at all these different separate calendars. You could be looking at different calendar views on this one calendar app, right? This one calendar, you go to Google Calendar, right? Or your Hotmail calendar or your Outlook calendar, whatever it is. But there's this one place that you're constantly looking, and that's how you're getting through your days. Your priorities should definitely map to blocks. So you're going to have kind of theme priorities, things you might be working on that might take several months. You might have priorities for the month. Maybe you're closing the books or you're trying to launch a new course. whatever those are, you need to then map those priorities into time blocks, into tasks, of course. And then you're going to take those priorities that you know about, they're going to already be in your task system, right? Prioritize 1, 2, 3, or urgent, high, medium, low, whatever it is, you want those to map. So you're going to cover the big goals for that week or sprint or month or year or whatever it is. And then, of course, you're going to have some priorities to keep your business alive, right? To close the financial books, to have one-on-one reviews or one-on-one meetings with your team. So you're going to have to schedule in some time, but that stuff doesn't have to happen every day, or maybe it's every other week, or especially if things are okay, right? If things get tricky, then you make a higher priority, and then therefore you are meeting more frequently, and you have a calendar that supports that you need to meet more frequently with tricky teammates, right? Or if things are cool, then you let it ride and you're meeting less frequently, and then you're using your other time to do higher priority things. The next concept is leveraging theme days. So these are just certain days that you know that you do certain things, and you can like batch them up, you can do them back to back, and it just kind of gets your brain in the mood, right? So maybe it's a creative day, or maybe you're working on your community or your website. Whatever it is, you may want to have theme days. So as an example, you may also want to do project management days, right? Where on Mondays you kick off tasks to your whole team, or no matter what, Fridays is course day, or Wednesdays is content day. That's when you bang out all your social media, you record your videos, and everybody on your team knows that that's what you do. So everybody's before that and during it and after, everybody knows that you have that Wednesday content day, right? So think about that. And then also on your calendar at the very top for the day, it's not going to be blocked as an hour or 2 hours. It's just blocked for the day. Just like you might have a holiday that's blocked for that notifies you that on a certain Thursday you have a holiday day, well, or a day off. Well, you're going to also just put those recurring reminders for theme days, like Mondays is project management or Wednesdays is content. And then just leave that there just to remind you and set the tone as you create the blocks that fill in that day. And once you have these time blocks and theme days identified, you're gonna wanna let the team know, right? So that people know on Mondays you kick off, or if they're trying to do this one-off meeting with you, you could say, hey, aren't we meeting on Thursday? Why don't you let's talk about it then, right? So that people don't hijack your calendar, they don't hijack your priorities, your schedule. You can kind of group them in. Some people say, hey, that's great. Add that to Slack or Discord, or add that to our notes, and we'll discuss it on that slot. So now you're protecting your calendar from interruptions. You're not responsive. And by time blocking, you're setting your priorities and what you're going to work on. And the final high level thing is really you got to protect your time blocks. So you have them there. And yeah, every once in a while something happens, right? You got to pick up the kid from school, your washing machine breaks, whatever it is that's happening in your life, and you need to adjust. But in general, for just low, medium priority things, you got to guard it. You got to guard your time. Oh no, I'm working on this. I could see you after. Or even if you're working on it, right? You can kind of lie to yourself and say, no, I have to do this thing. I'm meeting with myself, right? So I got to do this thing. I got to create that content, but I can meet you after, or hey, on Wednesday I have a slot, or Thursday afternoon, right? Maybe you don't want to give up your value based on your body type. You're not giving up your best slots, but guard it. And if you must move a time block, try to don't delete it, right? Try to move it. All right, fine. I'll complete the finances tomorrow morning before I start, or tomorrow afternoon, or I'm going to work during lunch. Or so take that calendar item and just shift it. Or maybe you move it to the same exact date time the following week, so you don't lose that task, and you try to recover, right? But in general, try to hold firm. Everybody in your team knows, and it's your calendar. When you're working with clients or partners, you can let them know, oh yeah, I'm busy at that time. You don't have to tell them why, or you could, but you don't have to, right? It's your calendar. Just say, I can't write that, and you stay with your time blocks, and you're going to feel really great at the end of the day getting all that stuff done. All right. So let's get into the technical advice about how you actually structure this stuff on your calendar. So don't just have a block one, block two, right? You're going to give it names. You're going to say, work on, growth course, work on sewing course, whatever it is, right? You're going to be very specific. You're going to give it a name, and everybody knows on your team, and so that on the weekend when you're thinking about what am I going to do this week? Oh yeah, I'm going to totally work on that new sewing course or 3D animation course, whatever it is, right? So you're going to give it a good name. You're going to block it out. Don't be ridiculous. Don't block out like 4 hours every single morning, okay? You're going to want to, be realistic, have work blocks, right? That don't blow your energy, that have breaks, that let you get up and walk around and get some snacks and whatnot. And then maybe one of those days is a flex day that if things are going well in the week, you could do another burst. But don't lie to yourself, right? Where you're constantly have this stuff on your calendar and then you're not doing it, because that's not good either. Another good thing to do is to add a link to the description. So you have a calendar block, it has a title, it has a start and end time, and it probably has a description, right? In this case, you're not going on Zoom to meet with somebody. So you might as well use the notes or the description to add something. So for example, on Mondays, I do this project management thing. I include the link to my checklist on that time block. So, hey, I'm going to work on project management stuff. And then if I click on it, it opens up my Notion doc that has, okay, here are the 7 things I need to do. And it's like every week I do it, but I could tweak the procedure. So there might be other things too, right? Maybe you have a coaching client. So in that meeting slot, you might as well include the link to your CRM or your wiki or Confluence or whatever page you have, right? Evernote, so that you have information about the client. Maybe it opens up a Google Drive folder. So the point is that you're adding a link to those meeting invites, all those different time blocks that you have on your calendar. Again, don't make these meetings giant. Don't be ridiculous and have like an 8-hour block, right? Have a variety of 1 or 1.5 hour blocks, have breaks, literally like they're not stacked. Like there's like you could see it. There's like a 15-minute gap where you get off your butt, you walk around, you go get water and bathroom and have a snack and then come back. So include those breaks. They're great to keep that energy flow going. All right. And that way you're setting realistic time blocks for you to work on your creative business. Next, when it makes sense, use repeating schedules. So all calendar programs you can have a one-off event on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Or you can have a recurring one that's basically you could recur across the week, like Tuesdays and Thursdays. You choose what's your cadence. And then you can also have repeating like every week. So every other week, every single week, every 4 weeks, the first Tuesday of the month. So use those extra tools to just start to lock in your calendar. And then when you need to, you shut it down, right? Like maybe that thing is done. Finally launch that awesome community course for musicians or whatever it is. So when you're done, right? Or use that slot for something else. But use repeating schedules. And then there's some stuff that's just evergreen, right? You're always, doing your bills and some administrative, and you're always maybe every week you're gonna check out your marketing, your social media profiles, make sure everything's good, see if you got any direct messages. So you're gonna have some recurring stuff. And then for projects, it's gonna recur for a while, and then you either shut it down, and that's cool. And don't forget, at the end of the year, you should do a review and clear out some stuff like, hey, you know what? I don't need to talk to that person every other week anymore. Let me downgrade it, or hey, we're done. Let me just clear out my schedule. So you're gonna have those repeating schedules for essentials, repeating for projects, and then of course, later you're gonna like archive, just like folders in your brain, right? You're trying to free up your brain. So you're gonna clean out your schedule as well. And most calendar programs have colors, right? So it might not be like a full-on palette, but maybe you can get, 5, 10 different colors. So use those colors, right? Whatever color system works in your brain. Maybe it's like a red light, green light, yellow light, or I like to flag FYIs, like I'm traveling, or hey, I'm being informed about a meeting, but I'm not going to attend it. So I'm going to flag that as gray. So use your yellows and grays as like almost like post-it notes. And then you have like bold and dark, bright red that, these are meetings you must do. Maybe it's your priority. Maybe it's overlaid with family stuff that you will not miss date night or your kids' games or whatever. So again, use those colors and then come up with your own little system. You don't need like 7 colors, like even just 3 that you could quickly scan, like what's popping. That would be wonderful. Like, again, don't overdo this. You got time blocks, you got a bunch of blocks. Maybe there's like a default color in Outlook or Google Calendar. That's your default color, and maybe it's blue, and all the important stuff, urgent gets another color, lower priority gets another color, or maybe it's by task, right? Like growth work, which is your number one priority, versus or coaching calls, like you never miss them. They're unmovable. Okay. And the final detailed advice is really about leveraging your natural rhythm and energy, right? So your body at a certain decade or age, maybe you used to stay up crazy late, or maybe you get up super early. So yeah, so leverage that and don't let people put junk and hijack your calendar during those most essential times when you are ready to take on the world, when you're in a happy place, whatever it is. So now you know what the basics of time boxing is. What is it? You got a bunch of ideas on why you would use it to hyper improve your productivity. You got a bunch of high level essentials for how to, use the time boxing concept with priorities and how it connects to your tasks. And then we geeked out a little bit and we really talked about like adding URLs and having the buffer and working with your body and energy and snacks and all that sort of stuff. So that's going to really help you out. And again, maybe this is like a lot and you just start off with your normal calendar, but just, maybe there's a few handful of items every week that they're blocked and you practice not moving them and they're your priority items, and that's a great way to start with time boxing to level up your productivity. Hey, just a quick reminder, you probably found us by looking for ideas on how to improve, or maybe you're trying to fix a problem for your course, your website, or your community. But before you forget, please subscribe to keep learning, and maybe share this with a bestie. You rock. Thanks. Let's keep going. Now let's check out an example. Let's say you're a tattoo artist and you teach tattoo making and ink art, and you're coaching and all that sort of stuff. You run a community where you're helping other tattoo artists, but your schedule's out of whack, right? So let's kind of go into there. So you're a small business, you run a shop, you're a tattoo artist, you're a teacher, a coach, you have this online community that you enjoy, but you also make some money, but your schedule's out of whack. So let's talk about some of the things. So let's go over some kind of priorities and then connect them on maybe how you would adjust your calendar to support those priorities. Again, remember, we're starting with your priorities. It's like a to-do list. So you're going to have a to-do list. These are bigger things. These are epics. These are, big milestones that you're going to do. You're going to figure out those priorities. And then from those priorities and those tasks, you're going to then adjust your calendar to support them. So first of all, you might have family time, right? So you have family time with different people in your family. I'll just say M, Z, C, R. These are different kids. So you got to work that into your schedule. So maybe there's certain days that you leave early, or you every day at a certain time, you do a certain thing. So that's the first one. So maybe in the morning, nobody can hijack your calendar. You need to get those kids to school, or you need to take that kid to dance or soccer or whatever. So you're going to block out those things. And yeah, sure, when you're there, maybe you might multitask or whatever, a little bit here and there, but you're there for your kids and you made that a priority. So you're blocking those areas of your calendar. And then another priority for this tattoo artist is creating a new tribal art course, right? So they're studying, they're documenting, they're recording videos, they're showing of their actual work, not just slide work, but actually them doing it. And so there's like this cool studio with 2 cameras. But anyways, the point is that they want to record this and create this new tribal art course. So for that course, they're gonna, block it out. They're number two priority after family. So they're gonna do that when they're full of energy. They're gonna maybe do almost every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. They're gonna block out that new course. They're gonna work on it. And you could write new course, you could write, tribal course, create course. You could even adjust it, like record videos or create slides. So you're a little more specific just to really motivate you and block out what you should be doing at those times. Next, the third priority for this business owner is that they have a community. There's this whole online community with chat rooms for different stages, beginners, professionals, people who are looking for jobs or not sure how to do a certain style or technique. Well, there's this whole great community that you own, you run, and you want to grow it. Maybe you're stuck at like 250 members and you're trying to grow it. So you want to find time to work on that. So maybe you're going to poke them or stroke them or give them resources or create resources or increase your packages. And maybe one package has kind of like one-on-one chats or whatever. So you're going to block that out. It's not your first priority. It's like your third priority, kind of important. But so you're going to find, maybe you decide Mondays and Wednesdays, you're going to work and you're going to do community work. You're going to answer questions. You're going to do prompts. And maybe you have a little checklist that says, hey, maybe you create an affiliate program or referral program that gives people a payback if they recommend anybody to the community. And it also gives those new people a discount on their way in, right? So again, you're going to just work on these ideas to grow your online community for your tattoo artists. Next, you don't want to be fake. So you're committed to working with clients and working on your art. So you want to keep working with high-end clients because, by the way, that pays the bills. And it's sort of like your best work. So you're not doing lots of different work. You're just focused because you're the leader. You're the head trainer and head artist at your studio. So you want to just work out. So you might work with your secretary or your calendar to block out time when you work with high-end clients. So maybe you reserve, Monday afternoons and Wednesday afternoons to work with a certain set of high-end clients. And it changes week by week, but at least it's reserved. You get in the zone, you know that you're going to do that fun artwork. But when you wake up, you're hitting those higher priority things. You're working on that new course. You're setting up your family for whatever you need that day because that's a higher priority for you. Your next priority might be, hey, wouldn't it be cool if I had some more partners, almost like cross-selling or before and after partners. Maybe there's a partner where, hey, there's like a piercing place down the road, or maybe there's this really cool sticker or Comic-Con thing. There's this other shop over there that's, pretty cool. And you want to just like meet up with these other business owners or other people in your niche. So maybe you just commit that like, hey, on Tuesday afternoon, my lunch, I usually eat lunch at my desk while I, do miscellaneous things and get ready for the day, get ready for the next session. But maybe you decide, hey, Tuesdays, I'm going to have a networking lunch. Maybe I'm going to have pizza with Chris and he owns that shop. And we're just going to talk about different ideas to market or how we can help each other and cross promote. So maybe that's it. And also, by the way, you might have a recurring task or even a time box that says, find a networking partner. So either you're meeting somebody or so maybe on Tuesdays you go out and do these different cool lunches, these networking lunches. But maybe your Monday lunch at your desk, you have a little task there that basically says, go and find somebody to network with this week or next week. So I'm always kind of like filling up my calendar. Again, that doesn't happen by accident. I have a task. I have this time boxed. I have this time reserved to network because networking is a priority. Is it number 1, 2, 3? No, but it's on my list and it's stuff I want to do. So I basically hook up the calendar, right? I have the hunting part, a small little block that I do maybe while I eat at my desk. And then I have the actual event where I go out and I'm trying to book them. And as I book them, I go ahead and make that a very specific calendar invite. And I might, of course I'm going to CC them, right? Because I don't want them those other people to not show up. So I don't want to waste a slot either. So yeah, so you're always doing that. That's how your brain should be working when you're sort of really maximizing your productivity with time boxing. And finally, you might have a lower priority of health and, keeping diabetes away and not, watching your tummy and whatnot. So maybe there's a couple of days a week where you bike into work and, you walk at lunch. Again, these things could be put on your calendar. It could be a morning routine for some sort of workout, an afternoon thing. It could be a walk around the neighborhood or the block or whatever, and whatever it is, but go ahead and time box it, right? Hey, just reserve that you're gonna, after you do this thing, and then connect the dots, right? You're gonna connect the sequence to get all those habits going. So you're gonna connect them, you're gonna have it on your calendar to trigger it. Your brain is going to know, oh yeah, every Monday morning I do this, or every Friday afternoon I always, walk home instead of taking the bus or whatever. Or I always do the long dog walk on Saturday afternoons. Some people, by the way, also, they don't really time block on the weekends. They just really go all in on Monday through Friday and then let their creative brain just kind of free up and flow around wherever they need to on the weekends, and that's cool too. Time boxing ensures that the best use of your time is aligned and prioritized with your goals. So you're going to have these goals. They're going to either be on your task or your journal or your notebook, but then you're going to go ahead and put them on your calendar. Every once in a while, you're going to go ahead and refresh, right? You're going to update the calendar because things move around, but that's what time boxing is going to do for you. All right. So let's summarize. Here are the top things you need to know about time boxing, okay? Time boxing, you're gonna use calendar, you're gonna watch what it is, you're gonna have a certain set of blocks that are related directly to your priorities. You're gonna try not to move them. If you must, keep it alive, shift it right, do it the week after. Don't shut it down. Don't keep moving your time blocks. Use your time blocks, you have it. Have a flow so that they're all connected. Try to use one main calendar. Use the color codes in those time boxes. Have a link to the contact, a link to the process, a link to that app that you're going to use, whatever it is. So when you see it, you click on it. You could use reminders and whatnot on your calendar, on your phone, but at least your brain is going to know. Every Tuesday at 10, you do this. Every Thursday is focused on, content. Whatever it is. So have these themes, time blocks, all these things come together and you're going to really start hitting goals. You're going to not have excuses. It's going to be right in front of you. The things that you want to do without interruptions, without you being responsive or reactive to all these other outside forces. That's their priorities, their calendar, their goals. So you need to focus on yours. So time boxing, you're going to start off by just using your regular calendar and adding a couple of recurring events. That's how you get your time boxing going. In the end, you're going to really take control. You're going to do a lot more with your same time. You're going to be happier. The people around you are going to be happier, and you're going to just go faster. You're going to compound and go faster and do a lot more with the same time, and you're going to be more organized. Okay? So now you're a lot smarter on managing your calendar and helping you with your creative business so that you can, have those cool courses and community and coaching website and all those things. If you're loving this stuff, go ahead and subscribe to keep leveling up your training business. To learn more, check out the expanded details and links in the notes. And if you need any tech help with your online courses, your membership community, or your coaching website, visit www.artsycourseexperts.com. Thanks for hanging out. Let's stay in touch.